And if I could go to a job that I like, at least if it's just for a little bit, I would just be so happy and so honored. Yes, you know, all them stories you done heard, you know how I hated my job. And it's not that I'm ungrateful for my job. It was that my job, the super center, they were ungrateful for their employees. They treated you really bad no matter how hard you worked. You were never good enough. It was always, let's go in the office so we could write you up. And I'm like, for real? All this hard work that I'm doing, struggling to get this done, and you're leaving us like shorthanded, but we're still accomplishing. A lot of times we were doing 2 and 3 different departments, and it was still, you didn't do this, come on, let's go get written up. And it really irritates you. Then I worked overnight. I was away from my child. It was many times I wanted to just stay home with my child. I did not want to be at nobody's super center overnight. I should have been home with my child. But I could not be home with my child because there was no way for me to afford babysitting. Babysitting was too much. I didn't make enough. So I took care of our daughter alone all day. Evening time, I went to school. And then I had to work overnight because my crusty butt got to work. You got to work if you want to eat. And if you want to feed your kids, you have to work. So work did not fit in my time frame, in my time schedule. So I had to do it overnight. But overnight work actually, it depletes you. I had started going through, what do you call it? I never got REM sleep. So it's like being jet lagged. Oh, I can't remember what it was called. But working overnight and never getting REM sleep is like being constantly jet lagged. That's what they compare it to. Um, shift work disorder. That's what it was called. I had shift work disorder. And it really messes with you. It messes with your serotonin. It messes with your mental health because sleep is very important to your mental health. That probably is why I'm so freaking Looney Tune right now, because I don't get the proper sleep and rest because I'm always on this grind. Um, so that would have took me out of that aspect, and it just would have been just a life-changing experience. And also a job that you like. Let me tell you, your job is more than half of your life. So if you're at a job that you don't like, that's a whole half of your life that you just cannot stand. And it changes your whole mood. When I was going to that super center, let me tell you, I would be perfectly fine. And all of a sudden, I would get depressed as it gets closer to time to clock in. Sometimes I would be fine. And then all of a sudden, from nowhere, I got a headache. I feel, ugh. And that is the way of that job. And then working overnight, when you come home, I couldn't just come home and go to sleep because I had a child I had to tend to. And when the child was going to school, I had to drop her, get her ready for school. She wanted to play around and this and that. I'm tired, about to fall out. Finally get her to school. And then I was to the point where I was oversleeping and not picking her up. So it got to the point where they were actually going to put truancy charges on me. It's been rough. I was going to be, that's where you're not taking care of your child, so they take your child because I was leaving her at school. And there was this movie. It was dang, what was the movie? What was the movie? The Tyler Perry movie with that lady that was living in her van. Oh, I can't think of it. If you know it, put it in the comment section. But I really related to that movie. That was me. They were gonna take her. because they was like, ma'am, you're not taking care of her, you're not picking her up. And it wasn't that, it was just I was so freaking tired. All I needed was a break, but I couldn't get a break. I couldn't get a break. So you know what I started doing? I started sleeping, kneeled over in a to my couch. I knew I couldn't get in that bed, because the minute I get in that bed, baby, I'm going to bed. So I would have to kneel like I was praying on my knees, and that's the way I slept. So when my knees went to going numb, or I would fall over, I would wake up. So I really only would get like an hour or two before I fell over, or before I couldn't feel my legs. So that would prompt me to get your butt up, see what time it is, check out your child. So that's how I had to get through that. So that would have changed a lot of that. So with that said, on your mark, get set, let's go. Here's the Cadillac and Lil Shine show. Cadillac and Lil Shine.
It's a Cadillac.